Hello, I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News in New York, and on behalf of everyone gathered there, I want to welcome you to this commemoration of the 40th anniversary of one of the most shameful acts in the history of the civil rights movement, and that, of course, is the Orangeburg Massacre, when shooting broke out on the campus of Orangeburg State in South Carolina. When I began to write my book, Boom, about the 1960s, it was one of the stories that I wanted to tell because I always felt that Orangeburg had not gotten sufficient attention. And I knew the man that I wanted to write about, Cleveland Sellers, a heroic figure in the civil rights movement, a man of great passion, great energy, and great courage. And of course, he was gravely wounded that night. He might have died. But thank God for South Carolina and the country, he did not. He lived. He stood up in court in Atlanta. He faced what many people believe was a grave injustice, and then he returned to South Carolina, and now he teaches there, and maybe more importantly, he gave birth to a son who is a member of the state legislature. That tells you how much life has changed, not just in South Carolina, but in this country. And when I visited the Palmetto State recently, I was so struck by what I called, in effect, the grandchildren of Dr. Martin Luther King. These are the children of Cleveland Sellers and others who followed in Dr. King's footsteps as that great crusade swept across the South. They're now young lawyers and doctors and editorial writers. They have families and hopes and dreams that their parents and grandparents could not have had. So on this commemoration of that shameful act, the Orangeburg Massacre, I know that all of you are realizing the dream that Dr. King gave to all of us on that memorable day in 1963, and then gave his life so that we could have the realization of it. Because the civil rights movement not only liberated black people from racism, it also liberated white people. Have a good time, everyone, and remember the past to build the future.